Rundown and abandoned storefronts in downtown Atlanta. Well, now they are getting a glow up. Atlanta News First reporter Amanda Rose shows us how a new city initiative is breathing life into these empty properties, all through art.
This would be just an empty storefront, and now it's got inside of it, and we'll see where it goes from there.
It certainly catches your eye. 500 feet of packing plastic shoved into a vacant downtown Atlanta storefront.
These are smart lights, which I absolutely love, that just add a little bit of MSG to the experience.
The playful window display, the brainchild of artist Mike Stasny. His work breathing life into an empty storefront on Walton Street Northwest is part of a new initiative by Arts and Entertainment Atlanta to revitalize parts of the downtown area.
If there is something that nobody really cares about or is lying vacant, you can activate it in such a way that will stimulate somebody to think that could be even more.
Some window displays are photographs with towering images showcasing the beauty of everyday life. Others, like the interactive Windows of Wonder on Cone Street, encourages visitors to make a connection with what they see.
It's just a wonderful way to infuse downtown with something whimsical.
A&E Atlanta's Fredalyn Frazier explains the project is about highlighting the work of established and emerging local artists. Of course, Frazier says the art is fun to look at, but it can also help the city grow.
How do we also help our property owners by providing this wonderful artwork, but then also draw interest to the fact that this property is available, and here's an opportunity to actually have a business located here if you like.
There are 4 of these captivating art installations up so far, but A&E Atlanta tells me they plan to bring in more artists in the coming months. In downtown Atlanta, Amanda Rose, Atlanta News First.